Okay, I just wanted to talk about slash show you guys something. Um, Considering the arsenal in Armor Forger is quite a problem, especially on the American side. I tend to play Soviets these days just because Americans will place down arsenals everywhere, drain supplies everywhere, and no one's doing supply runs. I think that's maybe because it's new players, but even the new players on the Soviets are usually very open to criticism like that. Like maybe not build the arsenal instantly, maybe start moving out, capping points, ranking up first. I think that's a really important one, which will allow you to spawn in more stuff and better vehicles as well in the future and later in the match. So I think it's a win-win situation if you just play like that. I'm gonna show you guys what I will usually do when I see a command post like this. We just cap this base. There's nothing really here. Um, let's see. So as most of you will know by now, building stuff, spawning and stuff, everything costs supplies. It's just the global currency of Arma, which I really personally like. But what most people will do, new players on the US team, they will see this and think, oh, ammunition, I gotta put this down here. They will start building that up. People will shout at them for it. It's not generally a pleasant experience, I can tell you. I used to do this my first day of playing and just drain this shit for supplies and didn't know the consequences it had until someone just told me. In a nice way though. They weren't shouting, which I really appreciated. And I've been trying to take it that way too with other people and just try to explain them nicely what this is doing. So as you will see, this has drained a lot of supplies. Building this in general, building stuff just drains a lot of supplies. There's no radio here right now, which is usually what will happen. People will build this arsenal, think like, oh, nice, nice. Ooh, I can get myself a nice M4 with a with a thing, a grenade launcher below it. Ooh, let's get one of these. Let's drop this M16 and ooh, let's completely like fill ourselves up with good stuff, you know. Ooh, running out of space right now. Need a big backpack so I can carry all these grenade launcher rounds and maybe one of those. Ooh, two, three, four of those extra things. You know how useful they are. It's insane. You can take down armored vehicles with that. You already start to see some things disappearing here, of course. HE grenades. Let's just spam this. Let's just spam this completely. It's only 3 supplies, but yeah. A lot of things are not available right now, as you will see. Eventually, nothing will become available. Only the things that don't cost supplies, like mags and stuff. But let's say you now run out with all this stuff, having a wonderful time, just fucking shooting people, and for some reason you get neutralized. Oh, too bad. You're dead. You think like, oh, I want to really take on these enemies that just killed me at this point. I was trying to defend. But once you'll see respawn menu, there's no way you can spawn there. Oh, in Game Master apparently there is. Maybe I fucked up the settings, but usually what you'll see is you're not able to spawn here. just just to tell you. Why that is because there's no radio station, there's no supplies. There's only 2 supplies. What do you need for a radio station? Quite a lot. It's not the cheapest one. There's 275. You're gonna have to do supply runs now. But if you keep that arsenal up, everyone will just take shit from that and drain the supplies each time you pull up with a truck. So you're not gonna be able to spawn in anything. What you'll want to do is disassemble this. Let's get rid of this for now. If you see nothing on the point besides an arsenal, feel completely free to disassemble it. There's no need for it being there, only for someone to completely ruin that point, make it unspawnable and just defenseless in general. especially on the purple points, you want to watch out for this. If someone's doing this on like the edge of the map somewhere where no one's fighting, then I wouldn't care about it that much. Like he's using his own supplies, that's all fine. So what you'll see here is, oh, you can build a radio now. Not only will the radio allow you to spawn, the radio will also slowly make sure that the supplies go up. I'm not sure if it's going to do it in Game Master because I don't think this technically counts as an objective because I just placed it down. And I get stuff like this might look boring to you if you're just a casual player just thinking about, oh, I want to get fast into the action, but doing this will allow you to do that. It will allow you to get fast in the action. If you want to use good gear, just look for any of these kind of players because there will always be these types of people in game. That there's no avoiding that. I think with the system that's currently in place, they might want to work on that a little bit. But I say just take shit from that people. That's usually what I'll do early game. Okay, 52 supplies. There's not much. I'm just gonna manually do that. But this is where you're gonna want to do supply runs. Find for one of those green icons on the map. You'll see it. Ask someone. There's probably someone that knows a secret supply point even closer than that. But yeah, I'm just gonna use the game master right now. I think I don't really wanna do supply runs for a tutorial video. What I'll usually do after that is I'll get a heavy vehicle depot down, so people can start doing supply runs, especially on points like this. It's really important because it's high risk. It's Monty-Neck, so it's kind of center of combat in this game. If you're looking for quick action, this is where you're gonna want to build up. Okay. Usually after I've built one of these, I'll do a supply run. Get this thing filled up with supplies. You can carry 600, I believe, in the trucks. So you're gonna want those. One of these is also very, very useful. Just to make sure that your vehicles have enough fuel. Although I do believe you might be able to refuel them in the maintenance point. Don't quote me on that. Probably a light vehicle depot. If you're building up a point like that, you're not really trying to get people out of here. I wouldn't necessarily need that. The first thing I'll usually do after building the vehicle depot and the fuel station is living quarters. Living quarters will allow you to spawn in AI, but most importantly, it will make loadouts a lot cheaper. So if people have a custom loadout and they want to spawn in this point because there's it's either under attack or they're trying to move out to a point close to this, yeah, they're gonna just spawn in a lot cheaper, which is what you kind of want. You want to minimize the cost of supplies that you're using, the amount of supplies that you're using, and you want to maximize the amount of people spawning in areas where there's enemies around. So it's just a great way to get quick into the action without draining every supply and allowing people to spawn there for longer, allowing people to do supply runs and occasionally fail at that, because not every supply run is a successful one, of course. Okay, now that you've done this, and if you were lucky you had someone else doing supply runs while you were building, you're gonna go over here, and I think this would be the right time to build an arsenal, as well as a light vehicle depot. So let's just build it over here quickly. Doesn't have to be perfect. Really expand this base as much as possible, because it's going to be a lot harder for the enemy to capture it when it's big like that. Also, you can spawn in AI over at those living quarters. I'll show you that in a second. Okay. Now, if you build all this up, I would still advise making loadouts in a different location. So, if you're making a loadout, I would advise not using this one still. Only if it's necessary. Let's say you don't have an RPG or anything and there's a heli flying over, then that's an appropriate time to run to the arsenal, grab a grenade launcher, and then start smashing that heli. But yeah, I would usually hide these when I spawn them in somewhere else. Now I'm the only one in here, so it's fine. But I'll usually hide these in a place on points that I'm trying to use as a spawn point / defensive point. Yeah, just so people don't run up and fucking do that unless I know I'm playing with the right people, which usually when I'm playing with like Soviets and stuff, I can leave this thing out in the open, no problem. Um, yeah, I'll show you the AI. I think that's also very useful. You can also take them with you. I've figured that out, and it's really fun. It can be really fun to just fill up a heli with AI. um, what I'll usually do is get anti-tank, maybe grenadiers or something like that. Um, either that or a basic fire team. And then I'll either grab medical support or machine gunners. I'll do medical for now, just so they can revive each other um, if they're going unconscious and stuff. And these will just defend this point. Well, AI in general, you think, oh well, it's just bots, they're not going to be that useful. Um, yeah, that's kind of the case in every game. That's the case in Arma too. But for defense especially, these guys, and I'll show you why, are insanely useful. So let's say we're on the United States team, and there's a group of Soviets trying to capture this point. Let's just do a light fire team. Let's make it a little bit easy. It's usually like 4 dudes that you'll encounter, so kind of realistic. And usually when people attack Monty, it's maybe good info. They'll attack from this tree line here, this tree line here, but mostly from this double-story building. People get on top of this and start shooting, but you have no line of sight unless they get on top of that. They're just free to walk around unless you have people defend this region right here, which is not as common. Let's say I'll just spawn in these and start playing as my character again. These dudes, if I'm correct, are gonna notice them. And those dudes over there are gonna notice them too, because they are also AI. Let's give them a minute. Oh, there they go. There they go. Figured out things in Game Master work a little different, so I'll place them on top of that 2-story. This AI does seem to have a need for line of sight, but I feel like with real players, they just have that a lot more often. But yeah, they'll instantly start responding, they'll start shooting in the direction where the enemy is. So it's really easy to figure out, oh, they're going to be in that 2-story building right there. Even if you haven't seen them, you'll know based on the AI. You can just see. They are having trouble up here, but usually these people will get taken care of pretty quickly. It's just such an obvious spot. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I had to say. Also, there's this dude on YouTube called Carousel. I think that's like a cat species or something. But he has some really good opinions, in my opinion, about Arma. He's talking about removing the ability to spawn on points like that, which I think it's a great idea. As people that do watch me, which not a lot of people do, I must admit, but that's fine. I'm just doing this for fun, basically. Um, I'm a DayZ player. Like I have a lot of hours in DayZ. Unlike Arma, where I'm like maybe up to 160 right now, but I'm really enjoying this game. And on DayZ, there's a server called Conquest that people play on console, um, which also includes a 1 location spawn system. You have 1 for each team, basically, which just adds to the tension when you get into a fight. It's just so stressful when you're in a heli on this game, and you know you've been in that heli for like 10 minutes to get to the point. Well, it's Arma Reforged, it's a little bit smaller map, so maybe on like a modded map like Chernarus, you're gonna have like to run a long time, drive a long time, fly a long time to get to where you need to be and take that point. And if you die, you gotta be all the way back to your main spawn point, and that just adds to the, I don't know, to the tension. I have no other way to describe it. I get this adrenaline rush in DayZ when I know I'm gonna lose everything, and I think Arma originally had that kind of element to it, where you could make it that way easily. And I feel like that could be a real improvement to this game. Also, maybe don't make the arsenal like that, but I've heard they're gonna add a rank system to the arsenal, which I really hope for. I think that will improve this a lot. But even then, I would still apply this method that I've just shown you. We've won a lot of games as the Soviets, just with like two groups of people, small groups of people, like maybe 3, 4 people per group doing this. And last day we've won in like maybe like 1.5 hour, and armor matches can last for days. So I feel like that's a pretty quick time. Well, thank you if you've watched till the end. I hope you learned something, and I hope you can help out your teammates on the United States sides because we on the Soviets would love a little more competition sometimes. So I'm not the best player. I'm not even that good of a player, I believe, at least not in combat. But I know the system that it's built around, and I enjoy that system, and I think it works for now if people kind of abide by that. And yeah, I hope this just improves some gameplay. Give it a like if you like this video, and see you in the next one.